Holiday. Holiday restorations today. Alright, basically we're going to get this roughed in a little bit here. I'm going to get the tailgate back up and see where we're at with the tailgate. There's a little mud that needs to be put on the tailgate here. Got a little paint stick sander here. There, got that up there better. Now there's a dent right here of some sort, so we gotta make sure we keep all the material there. Now this wasn't far off, so if I get a lot of this out, it won't be that bad necessarily. Alright, we're gonna leave that alone. We'll do 180 on that. Alright, now we'll do the rest of this 180, that way we tune that in, dial that body work in. Ain't nobody watching these Alright, we're going to clean this up a little bit right here, so when I put the tailgate over, don't rip that off. Alright, let's get this cleaned up right here a little bit. Welcome, subscribe to the channel for this restoration build. This is part of what I do. We got cool stuff on the channel, people. Check it out. Check it out. Check out the channel, people. We got live builds on there. Check them out. We got live builds. You can only watch live. Except for this one. This one's kind of when I can. Check it out. You know, I thought it was Vice Grip Garage you guys would tune in. Fucking Vice Grip Garage. What a fucking idiot. He's an idiot. Anybody see his video lately? that looking good. Hit it with 180. Pick this up. You guys like cars? Hey, subscribe to the channel. We got live builds on there. I got a Mini Cooper going through complete restoration on it ish, and then gonna get it sold. Check that out. It's a live video. This is every other day till we get it done. That's another restoration. I got multiple projects, people. Not only that, my full-time job is painting and body work all day, so this shit's just constant all the time. So check out the channel. We got new material every single day, every day. Not once a week, not 2 times a month, every day, for the most part anyways. And it's all new content. It ain't rewinded content, it's all new content. So you guys check it out. Please check out the channel. And we're here on Memorial Day, getting this thing ready. We gotta get this ready for the Florida swamps. This is a mud truck. The Florida mud truck. Hey to the only person watching right now. We're gonna restore this Bronco, and you're gonna stay here the whole entire time and watch it. And that's what we're gonna do today. But please hit that like button up there. Be the first person to like it today and receive nothing but just like it, please. Fucking jeez. He fucking left. What a. Now that's funny. Alright, we're getting a little choppy down here. Alright, people. I gotta put the tailgate up, so I'm gonna move the camera again. Back over here. Bear with me here. Yo, like the video. This is live entertainment. Putting the tailgate back up so I can see where my mud work is over here. Should be pretty close. But we need to put some more mud on the tailgate here. So I gotta move some stuff. Alright, she's on her. Alright, so we're a little high, which is awesome. That's awesome. It means we can sculpt her now. But there's a low spot here. This area on the tailgate I want to get out. I gotta make this a little bit better. No, we're not gonna build that up to this. We're just getting this little bit of high spot out right here. There's just a big low spot right here. So let's mix up some more Bondo here. We might hit this a little bit. Let's go get a DA and get sanding on that. I'll see what I'm talking about. Let's see if I can put it in a better spot here. All right, disconnect this for now. Thanks, Jester. You know how long I've been working on this? Probably about 6 months. Let me give you a little walk around real quick. There's a lot of work done on this thing. A lot of work. Now this right here, I gotta tear this apart. I just kind of blended these two to get both of them edges, so when I pop this, it's gonna crack through here. And then I'm gonna clean all that crack up where it cracks, and then you'll have that nice gap in there. That way you can get each piece where it needs to be instead of fighting it back and forth 1,000 times. Just like that, we got to get that's got to get grounded out a little better and get put in there. I see it's cracked right there, but extensive work. Now the front clip still needs work, but we're almost done with the back. Someone had put quarters on this at one time and did a terrible job. Yes, I did this all by myself, but I didn't do like the metal work. Believe me, I wish I would have, because it wouldn't have been bad. So basically, when I got here, this right here was in, and my door wouldn't meet up with it. It was like pivoting like this when it would meet up. So I had to get a porta power in there and push this quarter out. And well, when you do that, and this was all because the person that put the metal in there just warped the dog shit out of it, because there's no B pillar here. There's no supports, just this box side quarter here. So when I came in, I had to pull that out. And of course, when you do that, you got to start adding mud down here, because to get that profile, and I had to add, it just, there's a little bit of mud. And it's all due because whoever put these on, these quarter extensions, they did a terrible job. But other than that, there's a line that runs through here. This is probably one of the hardest lines to get, because it has a roll inside here, and you have to have that space so far apart or else it'll look goofy. And we're not putting trim back on here, so it's got to look really good. And then when they did that, someone had filled these, so I went ahead and just kept filling them. We'll see how it works. This is a mud truck, by the way. Look, it's a mud truck. It barely fits in this garage. It's just got, basically all what's left is just to get all this body work done. But the interior's already been done, what little there is here. He's already got seats in here, roll cage, all that good stuff. And you'll see this at the Florida mud shows. But we got new tailgate back here. I'm trying to get this all finished up back here, now that you guys have a walk around of what I'm doing here. Hopefully in the next month we can have this done. But not only that, I had to go through here and strip all this. You have to do body work to this stuff, you know. You have to do body work to them jams. But believe it or not, besides the sides, the bottom of the truck probably has to be the most important. And I got a lot of work down there to do yet, because it's probably the only thing you're gonna see, because it's gonna be so tall. Same thing, they blended this, and like I said, it's a long process, people, to get something like this. And they've done some custom stuff to it, so I gotta freaking get that all blended in. But we're really, really, really close to primer. There's a lot of people out there that'll rough stuff in and then primer it. I do not like to do that, because then you're back just doing it again. If you get it real close, then that means you can just keep primering it, block it, primer it, block it, maybe add a little putty here and there. But for the most part, you're not going to be primering it and then adding a shit ton more putty to it, because it defeats the purpose of all the materials you're using. So if you get your body filler really close, you will only be using primer instead of a lot of putty after that. This is the motor. It's a built motor. I don't know what it is, but it's been built. It's got a little dusty, of course, but it's gonna be pretty cool when he gets it out there. I'm not much of a Ford person, so I don't really know. But yeah, it's ready to go to the swamps, the Florida swamps, once it's all painted. But we went through, I got all new brackets here, so because of that reason, with it being a mud truck, there's gonna be a lot of flexing going on, people. So we got new brackets in there. I had to do some welding and stuff in here. I got, like I said, if you see back there, I had to clean all that up. That was all rusted out, so I put new metal in there. But same thing, I kind of, what you do on this stuff when it's like this is you got to get that stuff to blend, and then you'll go back through with your wire or your cutoff wheel or whatever, and you'll get that cut back out, and then you'll start finishing that body work. So, but other than that, I still got to take this fender off when we're done and get this all cleaned up in here again. And then this one's a difficult one to paint. This vehicle is, I think, because it has brackets on the outside of the door. So basically I have to build the doors and everything, and I'm gonna paint the jamb. I normally don't do this, but I'm gonna paint the jamb and the whole door and stuff all at one time. Basically the whole truck's getting painted with the two doors swinging open. That's about the only way I can paint this thing, because of the style of hinges that's on the doors. They got, if you see right there, they are brackets and they hang out the outside. So, but for now, let's get back to sanding this. I give you guys a little walk around. And if you guys stay tuned to the channel, I have this every once in a while. Not only that, Right now we're working on a Mini Cooper, live videos at the house, and we're gonna keep cleaning that and restoring that until we get it done. And then after that, I got a big project coming. That's gonna be, they're a hot car right now, very hot car, and I got one coming down from Iowa. So we're gonna get that down here, and I'm going through a whole restoration with that, and I'll be the one doing that. It's never been touched. It's gonna be a good project. I highly suggest you guys, please subscribe to the channel and stay tuned, because we got daily projects every day. We're doing different stuff every day. Not only that, I got some body work coming up on a tailgate that I'm getting ready to airbrush. I'm airbrushing this tailgate. It's for a newer Chevy Silverado where they have the Chevrolet stamped in the tailgate. What we're gonna do is patina airbrush. We're gonna go through, I'm gonna paint it like a teal blue and then do some rustic patina on it. And then we're gonna do that all live, and so you guys can watch. And then when we're done, I'm gonna hang it on the wall and stuff like that. It's gonna be cool. But other than that, on my main channel, like what I do every day that you'll see is automotive painting and bodywork and stuff. That's what I do full time. But there's always new videos, people. I'm not posting bullshit every other day. It's new videos. Like today, we're working on this Bronco today. It's another project on the side I have, because I'm really good at mod work and body work. I know that. So that's why people got me out here, dude. Thanks, Wild Bill. That's awesome. It's a long process. The only thing that sucks about this whole situation is I'm not the one that touched it. So when it comes in a situation like this, you're buttering up someone else's lack of knowledge when it goes through to doing a restoration correctly, because a lot of people will just start welding. They'll cut out rust, but then start welding to the spots above the rust, which still had rust on the backside of it. Like, it's shit like that to where it's just gonna blow out, and then they fiberglass over it, you know. So it's like, and then it's just, I don't know, I didn't put the quarters on, and so you're just fighting all this stuff, you know. And it's like, if I were to have just done this from the get-go, you would already addressed all that and knew where all the problems are. Because every time you get into something like this, you're opening a can of worms every single time. Like, you just can't leave it alone, because you know how good that you can make it and the problems that you're gonna have. So that's why it's really hard to do someone else's work that says done someone, because it's just a big can of worms that you're opening up. Yes, they are, and those are still a hot truck. But these Broncos right now, ever since the new one came out, they shot up in popularity, and they're just still holding popularity, which they look really good. Look at this little red one out here. That's probably the next one this guy's gonna have redone. Look at that one. It's just a nice little, cool little truck, you know. But we're gonna get the camera down. That way I can keep going on this. You can stay tuned if you want, but please subscribe to the channel. I'll be here a while today working on this live, so I'll be right here. But like I said, we got the tailgate. This is high. It's a little high, but that's fine, because I want it to be a little high, because I like to 180 a lot of my 80 scratches out. So when it comes to primer, when it shrinks back, you're not feeling 80 scratches. You know that you're feeling 180, and those scratches are really to get out with 320 versus 80 scratches where you might even have to throw a little putty on it because it's so deep. Or if you tried sanding it out and you burnt through your primer or major primer thing. So like I said, when I do this stuff, I get this stuff, let's say it's 75% to where it should be when it's done. We're not doing a whole 50%, doing a hardcore sand and then a primer. It's just pointless, people, because then you're just filling 80 scratches and then applying putty to that. So what I'm gonna do when this is all done, which it's had epoxy on it once, some of it's burned off. That's what happens when you're doing mud work, but it is good to keep an epoxy down on the bare steel. Do I know if this thing was stripped correctly before I got to it? No, I do not, but I do know the spots that I've done. I do epoxy when they're bare and then start adding to them. So when you do that, you want that material on there so it don't rust. But as I go along, I epoxy it. But like I said, I want to get this to 75% body work done, pristine, looking real good. I want to be able to get the quarter panel wet with some wax and grease and look down at it and it looks straight. Because when you primer it, and it looks like that, when you primer it, you're not going to be fighting all these low spots. You're actually going to be using the primer for what it is, a primer filler. We're not using it as a filler where a lot of people they're filling just all sorts of shit with it, putting 9 coats on. You know what happens when you put that much primer on a vehicle in the Florida sun? That shit cracks. So you gotta minimize that. And don't ever use that liquid Bondo in a can. It'll look good and it'll work good. But give it about 5 years, and that car has to be completely stripped again because you fucked it up because of how much material. It'll look like the desert floor where it just starts cracking, crow's feet, and all that stuff. So don't. You can use it, but I don't. It's just not the greatest product. So we can use a normal high build primer on this when we get our bodywork to 80% done. So whenever I go through and sand it with the primer, I'm getting about 10-15% of it straight again, and then maybe that 5 or 10%, whatever is left, you might have to add putty here and there to get it looking good. But I highly suggest if you do a big job like this, don't just rough it in and put primer on it, because you're going to be working on it again. You're going to be winding up primer it 4 times because you've done burnt through that first coat because your body work was so bad. So Wild Bill, the microphone is at home. I didn't bring it. There might be a lot of noise in the background right now. That's probably why you can't hear me. But yeah, I just left it at home. I didn't think a lot of people were going to tune in today. But let's get back to what you guys came here for. Enough ranting. And if you guys see that Vice Grip Garage, tell that motherfucker to quit bringing drunk to Meekum. We don't do that at Meekum. And he's wanting to do that shit. If you haven't watched his latest video, he's wanting to literally send public auction shit to Meekum Auction. And it just disgusts me. It's like, and the only reason Meekum's pairing with him is because he has a big following and all this. He can get new bidders to come to Meekum and bid on this junk. This guy's just putting fuel lines, brake lines, and brake pads, and wheels and tires or whatever, cleaning it, sending it through Meekum. That's what the hell is that? And he's like, oh, I'm trying to make them affordable for the average person. It's like, yeah, a lot of people that want to make it affordable for the average person want that, but don't know the know-hows to go through and redo it. They might just keep it that way, but we're talking a vehicle that now they're going to spend $40,000 or $50,000 on to get redone to where they want it to be, versus the whole time they could have bought one for $35,000 that had already been gone through and done. So it's just, I don't know. It kind of pisses me off. If Meekum really does that shit, if I had the money and the subscribers to start my own auction house that wasn't Barrett Jackson, but it was a set checklist of going through vehicles, and we're talking about the biggest red flag on most of them vehicles at Meekum is undercoating. Undercoating's a good thing, people, but it also hides a lot of fucking shit. It hides a lot, and that's what you got to worry about. When you go to Meekum, 75% of the cars are going to have undercoating underneath them, and they don't. You can tell some of them are not rusted, but you got to look real good at that, because that's the hidden used car, old car secret. It's just, let's undercoat it. And if everything's undercoated underneath, including the suspension, everything underneath there is coated, it's a fucking piece of shit. I'll tell you what. But if you find one that's painted, it looks factory, you might pay a little bit more, but you're getting a premium car that's not a buttered up whore just to send her through the auction block, you know what I mean? So that's my little rant on me. I'll be ranting about this, about the whole Vice Grip Garage thing, because it's bullshit. It straight up is bullshit. Should not be sending. It's like sending this Bronco. This is not a Meekum Bronco, and it will never be a Meekum Bronco because of how rough it was and what extent went into it. And some of it ain't right, but it's just, it's a mud truck. It'll look amazingly when it's done. It'll look really good. You'll probably see it on the Florida mud truck things and like that. I'm not even joking. You probably will. It's a big truck. It's gonna look beautiful. So, but hopefully we can get this done in the next couple months so we can get it out there. I know summertime's here. He might not be able to do it till next year, but this will be out there on the mud truck and the mud pits out here in Florida. Big deal down here. But let's get back to this, what you came here for, and watch out for that Vice Grip Garage sending junk to Meekum. That just disgusts me. That's like taking that red Bronco I showed you out there and just sending it straight over to Meekum. It'd still bring good money, but the person that's wanting to buy it, they're like, well, I want it to look better. And then $50,000 later, they're in this motherfucking thing for $70,000 and could have bought one done and in premium shape for like 50, 55. Like, it makes no sense, you know? Like, and there's a lot of people out there, no offense, there's a lot of people out there that have money, that buy cars, that have no knowledge about cars or what it takes to get this car there or what. They just like, oh, see something like, oh, I want that car. It's like, is it worth it? Like, if you have to redo it, or are you going to leave it alone? Like, you're going to do this rat rod patina look. Maybe that's what Vice Grip's trying to do, but I still like for my floor pans and suspension parts to still be intact with a rat rod patina vehicle. I don't. It's okay to have the outside fine. That's fine. If there's rust out there or whatever, that's fine. But it just blows my mind. I'll be ranting about that for a while. It's disgusting. But let's get back to getting this Bronco done. That's not gonna go to Mecum, people. This ain't shit. This would never go to Mecum. But it will go to the mud pits, and it's gonna be one of the nicest trucks to the mud pit. Alright, so I'm gonna mix up a little bit more filler here. Let's see what's going on right here. But we've been working on this for a little while now. And it needs to get done. I'm tired of working on it. It's one of the things where the more you work on it, the more worms you find. You know, it's like the more you keep digging, the more you're gonna get worms. That's exactly what it is. So at one point you just gotta leave it alone and just push the dirt back over it and just leave it alone. And that's what we're kind of doing. Believe me, I don't normally do this, but there is a point where you only get paid so much, you can only do so much. So, and that's a pretty good deal I'm giving this guy because I enjoy doing this stuff. This is, I consider a hobby. And see, not like beating up a $500 new tailgate on an old school Bronco, but you gotta do that to make her fit. You gotta do that. It ain't perfect, but now she's perfect. I have a little skin coat though. I don't know, it feels pretty good just to leave it alone. I think it's ready for primer in that area. We're gonna throw a little putty on there, but we're not gonna get serious with it. But let's get some up on here. Let's give this a little bit more 80 grit here. Get down on these low spots. Get that filler. Now I'm using a Dolphin Bondo. It's made by U-Pole. It's not their Dolphin Glaze, but it's their Dolphin Bondo, and I highly recommend it. I know a lot of people out there, oh, U-Pole's junk, whatever. Get that filler, because I've tried about every filler, and I'll tell you what, with that Bondo right there, it'll cling to anything. You don't even gotta sand shit. This shit clings. It clings hard. So because it acts like a putty, but you're getting it in a whole gallon, you know. But it's still a Bondo. That's what's on here now, and it's really easy to sand, and it's not priced too bad. But don't go to Walmart buying shit. Don't ever do that. If you're doing any car repair, don't go to Walmart and use their products. They are not good products, people. Alright, so we're gonna get this done. We gotta get moving along on this thing. Been doing it for a while. So we're gonna get this done. We're gonna keep carrying on down through the bottom. We're real close with everything, but I was telling people we want to get this Bondo about 75% done. You don't want a heavy hard cut Bondo job and then primer. We're not doing that shit. It's not how you do it. That's how. So when everything shrinks back with the primer that you build up and all these layers and all the shrinking, it's gonna look like shit. If you let that Bondo and you get it all looking real good, real close, you're not going to be using much primer, so it's not, I mean, you still need your coats of primer, don't get me wrong, but you're not going to have tons of primer on there to cover stuff, you know what I mean? A lot of people do that when it comes to doing these cars. Can't do that. That's probably good enough. I think last night in the video in the Mini Cooper is I restored the back seat, which was leather. You guys check that video out. It should be dropping here pretty soon of a live video. Check that video that I just did last night to show you how to repair leather. It surprised me. I just started doing something and started working, and it uses an iron, a flat iron, and leather, and that's all you need. Maybe water so you don't burn it, but you can fix some indents in leather by just using an iron. If you want to learn how, just check that video out. It should be coming up here pretty soon. It was a live video yesterday, so it takes a little bit for YouTube to send it through their thing, and then it'll be dropping. But stay tuned for that. If you guys have serious leather problems where there's dents, little craters, big wrinkles, you're gonna love that video. It's a good video. Check it out on my page, people. That's a live car, that Mini Cooper, and we're restoring that car live, piece by piece, every day. But I think when I get home later today, we'll be back out there doing that again. See, this that we put on there, a lot of it's getting sanded off, people. But you gotta build it up, or else you're gonna be back over here putting more on it. You're like, what the fuck? I'm doing more coats. It's taking forever. Just build her up. You can sand the shit off. That's what it's designed to do. Don't be, oh, I gotta make my each pass I do for body filler look professional and nice, smooth and stuff. But sometimes that screws you up, people. It does. You gotta apply that product where you want it. Not where you look. It looks good on, so it looks good to everybody, and they're not making fun of you. Build the product up where you need it. Your final sand is where you're gonna make her shine. This don't mean shit right here. It don't. I gotta get her thick. Now, of course, you're going to take stuff off the edges so you don't have to sand that stuff. And like right here, I don't like this. We're just going through the gap here. We're just scrape it off. But get your material built up. Don't be scared. You're sanding the shit off. Some people, I don't want to sand a lot. You are when you're applying more coats, so think about that. You get what I'm saying? So, it's a little heavy here, I will admit. So we'll bring that out. Just take a little off, smooth that out. It's fine. I don't like this though. Now we're going to apply a filler somewhere. So we don't waste it. Looks like we're going to have to waste it. Alright, so it's that time of the day where your body filler has about 3 minutes before you gotta start spreading that shit and being done with it. Alright, so we're gonna let that dry. Let this dry. It's almost there. It's just kicking today. Now we're gonna come over here. And the same thing, we gotta get this cleaned up on these edges. And then once we do this little final sweep, we're done with it. Then we can start moving on to something else. It's just a long process, but finish one part of the car at a time. Don't be keep bouncing over and around. That's where it starts to take a long time to do something, because you're bouncing everywhere, you know? So let's get this camera switched over to here. Right there, maybe. Right there. Perfect. I like this little stand I got. You can bend it anywhere you want. So we're letting that dry over there. Now remember, I left that a little high on the cab over here, so when I bring that down, I can sand those two together, and you know 100% that it's gonna look really good. Don't try guessing on the panels. I have a cowboy moose showing off again. No, we're just working today, bud. But we're getting this stuff straightened out. I don't feel that that's in all the way. Let's slam that tailgate again. See that? Alright, now it's on. Now it's on. So we got that pretty close. But I don't think I need to touch it, really. Yeah, right there I do. Right here where I screwed it up. I need to apply a little on this side, but we're going to leave this. This over here feels really good. Maybe a little feathering out right there. Just feather that out. Add some filler over here. Down here now. You know, I got this feeling good the other day. I just need to go down these edges and get them gaps cleaned up, and we're good to go on that. Thanks for tuning in, Cowboy Moose. I see you subscribe and comment on all my videos. I appreciate that. And like you can tell that there's new entertainment every single day that we're on here. Yeah, this video's down in my profile. It's a little walk around, but there's a lot of work on this thing. We got to get this done, and then we can keep working around. Like I was saying, you got to get one section done, unless you're just bouncing all over the place, and nothing's really getting done because you're just all over the place. But we're going to get this side cleaned up. I got some body filler over here on the other side that's drying, so we can sand those two together and it looks good. But we're getting the back of this tailgate finished today, in the back of the underneath of the quarters, so I can keep going on this. I got to get this car done, people. I've been working on it a while, and I'm getting tired of working on it a little bit, but I like it. I like this stuff. It's just time consuming. Like I said, we're going to sand this right here. Get that a little roughed in. Okay, so before I even do that, I got to get locked in on a rag. get this lacquer on a rag. Now this gray stuff I'm spraying on here, yeah, it's a really long process, but this stuff right here, this gray stuff, is aerosol etching. I don't like it. I only use it so it don't rust till the time you come back to work on it. I don't recommend using this stuff as to lay down. You got to put a 2K product on there. This is a 1K, and I'll show you why it's a 1K. Watch. It should not ever, no primer or etch should ever come off by just rubbing lacquer thinner on it. But before I start applying any Bondo, I like to get this all back off as most I can, because I don't want that 1K product underneath my material. So we're going to clean. It seems, yes, you are wasting this. You're wasting cans and cans just to cover bare metal, but you want to. You want to, because you don't know how long you're going to come back. You can't just leave this raw steel for a week, people. It's going to rust, and then you're going to have rust forming around your Bondo areas, and then you got to sand back. It's just, and then it just makes the progress go even further. So, like I said, it looks low budget as hell. I'm over here cleaning the slacker thinner to get it off, but believe me, that's how I do it until you can get it locked in, because it's not, oh, I'm going to get this all done and get it locked in. No, it don't work like that. You're doing it in pieces. So you got to think of something of longevity in the process of redoing it. What can I put down so that it's not going to rust? And I highly recommend is using an aerosol etch can. But before you apply bodywork, after that, get the shit wiped off. Because you don't, it's just, it don't get hard. There's no hardness, so it's just not a good material, but it works really good for the time being, so flash rust and stuff like that don't get on. Alright, so we got that all cleaned off where our Bondo was. You can see where our Bondo is now. Before it was all gray, it looked like primer. Alright, let's get some more filler. I don't like this. See, I don't know what they have, but there's 2 holes on this. So we gotta get that filled up a little bit more. I'm gonna take my DA to that and get that cleaned up there. Look at all that rust. A lot of rust in there. In there that someone years ago had mudded over. So I decided to get that all back out of there. That is some brazing right there. Someone brazed that. Get my secret little tool that I love. Alright, we're gonna take a wire weld of this. And we're gonna get the rest of that out of there. You gotta get that rust all out of it. Oh wow. Alright. Got that all out of there. I'm gonna go around and hit this over here. I've redone this spot so many fucking times, but it just looks like shit. You can't be having that rust on shit, or else it defeats the whole purpose of putting body filler down. So if you can't get the shit out of it. We're just going to leave it because we're going to keep opening more cans. Alright, so I like to wipe that off with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. We'll use lacquer thinner again on this, clean that up. Get that all cleaned up. We're gonna apply more filler here, y'all.
like Sandy.
I don't know how many people have told me that in my life.
She must like Sandy.
Nah, I like to get her done one time, bud. One time. Get it done one time. Not 9 times to achieve the same job. Just know how to lay your filler. Just like that, we got that laid down. Now let that dry. Now I gotta clean this off here. Alright, let's get the switch back over here, where this has been sitting here for a minute over here. Let's get sanding on that, on this side. There you go. Alright, now this is going to be higher a little bit because I left it a little higher. Alright everybody, I'm gonna end the live stream here. I want to listen to some music and no one's really tuning in anyways, so please watch my channel. Please, there's lots of stuff on there that you're gonna love. Thank you.